GENG has a lot of shorter range options, but I feel like Ruler's in a position where it's like I have a pretty free lane right now. Like, yes, level 1 is a little rough, but after that, you know, Ezreal just kind of outranges. So I think he's pretty happy to take the Ezreal. I think the Rakan pickup was fine. I think the Xayah maybe gave a little bit too much power over to this Ezreal pick specifically, but I think the rest of the comp has tools to deal with it. So I think either team's made major flips.
That's GENG. All right. We're on the GENG side of Lol Park here today, and it was very loud when they yelled on the screen. Good ward over the wall here from Keen. Will spot out the Scorpion making its way in, but is it actually going to help the situation? That's the question here. As Chovy, not going to be able to save him with a teleport or anything like that as Canyon. Oh, brilliant flash over from Lucid as Keen will be taken down and he tanks up just enough turret shots. And these dives are difficult.
Now you have to hit your E first to get the root. Before you didn't. You just pressed W and it rooted. So it was very effective at setting up gangs. Unless you rooted a minion, then it wasn't very effective.
It was not very effective.
Move up towards Scrubs and be there to assist, or you can be down to catch the wave. It looks like the decision is he's moving up. She was getting ready to TP.
Yep, Showmaker looking for an angle here as Beryl goes in. Canyon is ulted, keeping himself safe here as the train is going to crash into the wall. Showmaker now pushed out of the fight though, as Lucid will get knocked up and he's the first target. GENG just eviscerate the Skarner. Still, Showmaker in position, doing a fair bit of damage. Chovy going exceptionally low, but I think he's going to be safe for now, aiming the next target here, as he will get knocked up. Beryl being an absolute hero, and Showmaker can now throw down the massive damage from this machine gun rise, and now is realm warping, looking to stop Keen, stop Duro from being able to do anything here, and DPLUS, a gorgeous team fight to start off the game.
Super scrappy one, and you saw Showmaker getting so many. The other one's in control of this bot side now, and actually they might be looking for Showmaker under this tower.
Yep, Showmaker just trying to get that fancy footwork out as in goes Canyon. Showmaker was playing hyper aggressive as Duro comes on over, and the realm warp is going to get him to the cow. He's going to try and deliver this kill back, because Lucid just a little bit late to this one. Duro just very happy to run around here, has the unbreakable will, and in the mid lane, that is where DK are trying to make that cross-map play. Ruler doing his best to clear out the minions. But I think that's just a Showmaker for nothing, and they'll pick up a dragon.
Yeah, beautiful from GENG, and I feel like DPLUS kind of missing the mark a little bit. Feels like that game plan. Oh, looking for TP now from Shiwu.
Yeah, and Duro, no ulti available and no health to speak of as well. True Shot Barrage coming on down, but that is Shiwu grabbing the kill immediately. Now everyone just finding the CC. Canyon impaled and taken down. Beautiful quickness there from Beryl to help out as Chovy is in trouble. There are 4 people, and Beryl, he knows exactly who he wants to take out.
Beautiful cleanup there from DPLUS. Just as things started to look like
GENG had made the map play, right? Like, it felt like there was going to be no contest, no answer, but the fact that the cooldown of the Unbreakable Will comes out meant that Duro was completely useless, didn't have the health bar, wasn't able to go on a reset, and GENG feeling like they'd been able to get a free opening towards the Drake turned into DK, understanding exactly where the cooldowns were at and capitalizing effectively. Really nicely played.
I think especially with how early we are in the game, I think in hindsight, obviously it's hard to see this. Oh, Showmaker trouble again.
Yeah, Wind becomes lightning as he's going to try and offer some damage back. Duro, not a lot of damage himself, nor does he have the ult, but in a second's time he will. Still, Showmaker trying his very best to at least make it difficult for them to take this one down, as finally they do, and Duro can tank about 11,500 turret shots with his Unbreakable Will.
Just bullying Showmaker in the side lane, finding these angles, doing a great job of it. And unfortunately for them, isn't a dragon to go for and potentially get punished on. Although they are looking for the Rift Herald. We'll see if DPLUS opts to respond. Bear in mind, Showmaker doesn't have teleport this time, neither does Shiwu, so they may just be able to grab this one uncontested.
Yeah. Keen here towards the bottom side, just trying to defend in case Shiu's given some free time on the turret, and Shiu might actually have some friends coming in to help out as well, as this Q just to try and clear out the wave, but there's the CC, the layering's good, and Beryl happy to tank this turret up. Chovy towards the top side of the map, but it is going to be Lucid defending as Canyon takes that Rift Herald like you were talking about, so GENG able to pull this one back. It's within touching distance as far as the gold, but feats of strength going over to GENG is a big deal, as they were able to pick up the first turret in the mid lane.
I think the lesson I've kind of learned from this game so far is just don't be in a side lane. But he's just so tanky, it took a lot of effort to get him that low, and even then he has an ending despair, so he would be able to heal up. But the damage on Ruler was what stuck, and she was doing a great job of landing that. The Dragon secured for DPLUS. And without
from Canyon.
TP's being committed.
Yeah, they are looking for it. GENG, it's almost down to half health, but it's not going down all that quickly. Duro on a flank angle, wanting to be able to get Shiu out of there as he's looking for a flank. In comes the Rift Herald as well, as now Keen just puts his body in front, but look, he's melting! Just cut down right in front of their eyes. He's gonna have to just call a train for himself to get out. And DK are saying thanks for the leash. Their health bars look so much better. And without their frontline tank, they're not gonna be able to do this. It's gonna be a 50-50, but it's Lucid that takes it down. And Canyon with a defensive ultimate is gonna try and get him out of there. But these flowers go to DK, and they actually...
That Dragon, any future ones they get, they are gonna start feeling really bulky as a result as we get into this game. Now they are looking towards Canyon on the bot side.
Beryl just holding onto his Q, or his W, sorry, just to make sure that Canyon wasn't going to be able to immune it. And even though the Impale doesn't find a target, that's because the target was a corpse.
The value Shiu is getting on this Jace has been massive. I feel like, you know, ever since we saw the tank Jace go away, we've seen a lot of these more damage-oriented Jace, sometimes a bit more bruiser. Oh, maybe I spoke too soon.
Yeah, perhaps 3 versus 2 right here as he does flash away. Shock Blast as well, doing a lot of damage as Lucid delivers Keen into the backline. I don't know about it, but he's still just getting destroyed. Artican or no Artican, I guess this guy's just made a paper as Chovy and Showmaker went for a scuffle. That is not the important part. The important part is DK taking control of the whole map.
Yeah, it feels like Keen starting to get shredded. You know, you have the fact that Aiming is 100 CS ahead of him in comparison. Already has that last Whisper. Just able to cut through him a little bit too quickly. LDR actually finished now. So, you know, that deficit, we talked about Keen and not being as big of a deal, him being behind, starting to feel like a bit of a deal.
It really is.
And as I was saying, we've seen a lot of these... Oh, Ruler, you're just dead.
I have a feeling he is not going to survive. There is a teleport coming over, so it may not just be him. He cleanses the wallbang, but that's not going to save him. His Trophy's like, no, I'm getting out of here. And that's a really good idea. Yeah, he doesn't have an opportunity to get out anymore. That was a good flash. The charm had to be maneuvered as well, but look at this. Lucid's going to move up, and Keen has to invest the ulti, and Canyon is just dead. Not sure how that happened. He was probably rotating down to try and pay for the sins of the GENG carries.
Oh, 100%. Now moving over to the Baron, no contest coming in.
Yeah, there is some vision around the area, but I don't know whether any of it has actually seen DK, and this is going down so fast. My God!
Yeah, there's so much DPS.
We do know that often they can start with a bang, and then maybe not quite find too much more after that. This is a best of 3. And it does mean that they're going to have to...
Because if they let this Dragon go, I feel like the game's going to get worse. A fight win here might get GENG back in this game, but it's an uphill battle.
Yeah.
See what they can do.
Down to 50% is the Dragon. Lucid in a good position to go for this one as Canyon gets over. He can threaten the smite now as Showmaker moves out of the way of the charm. True Shot Barrage not doing anything as Beryl goes in, doesn't really find the angle that he wants, but the rise damage is still massive in GENG. They lose out on the Dragon and Beryl just gets himself out of there. These Shock Blasts, my God, to the skies. Boot back by Keen, which is pretty good, but not good enough as Canyon comes on over. Down goes Keen. The front line melts in the blink of an eye, and the Realm Warp to follow up. Chovy, I don't think he's getting out of this one. The feathers get pulled back, and he is now in the grave. Ruler going to follow. The Impale doesn't hit him, but he doesn't have any dashes left, and there is the clean ace for DK, the secure of the Dragon. They'll take down these turrets. Where has this team been? Why weren't they in the LCK Cup playoffs?
I don't know, but they're ramping up now, and they managed to just dismantle GENG in this game 1. GENG felt forced to fight the Dragon, not able to get a single kill, and DPLUS making a statement with this game 1.
Yeah, absolutely gorgeous play. So much of it from this Stucky on the top side of the map. Legendary as they take down the Nexus. I can hear it. The Shiu cries are echoing throughout LoL Park. And there he is, deserving. They know about this as well. Yeah, 34.3k. Not too bad there from Shiu as these damage numbers on the GENG side looking pretty pitiful. Certainly something you could do. As the Cho'Gath, we haven't seen the hyper-speed Cho'Gath mid here in the LCK. We did see it picked by Beryl earlier on.
Yeah.
This time it's going to be Showmaker playing it, and every DK fan that watched that game is very happy that Beryl isn't playing it again.
Absolutely.
That center lane was awful.
I will say, into the Jhin, it doesn't really feel good about playing on Cho'Gath. That is, you know, peak.
This one might win me over. Let's go into the Rift.
It's so goofy. It's so good.
It is actually phenomenal. Oh my god.
Honestly, this zoomed-in view of just Showmaker,
I just want that. So right-click. That's the mechanic that you need to be aware of. As, all right, aiming is going to be able to slow down Ruler. Remember, this is from the work they did earlier, taking those 2 flashes, and they'll now take first blood. Canyon turns up, but he's a little bit late.
I mean, just so simple how aggressive they can play. Maybe could have slept and forced the cleanse, but opting to hold it for the grub fight.
Oh dear, here's the public execution from Xiu. He's going to then immediately try to get out of here. Needlework going to be missing, and in fact, so was that Q, but not going to risk it. Flashes immediately, and Xiu not going to be dead just yet. As Lucid coming in, there is the ulti, and down goes Canyon. Showmaker actually just eats him, so that's going to be a stack there as well. Heroic charge gets Duro into the wall, and the Rupture going to miss once again. So it's...
So I think he kind of pre-flashed, but just wasn't... those moments you expect to play, and Beryl is...
Yeah, Beryl's Hex flashing in. Chovy going to try and kill Showmaker before he goes down, but Beryl is so scary. That Rupture is going to land, and even Lucid was here to play defense.
Regular flash coming out there. See the replay here, so it's a great honestly.
Oh my god.
That angle to connect onto the and there we see... Actually, I think the ult... I'm not sure if the stun in the wall did hit.
Now Gen G find themselves in about a 1,000 gold deficit. Not end of the world or anything like that, especially with Keen still being such a problem. Canyon moving down as he tries to hold him in place. Bowling ball going wide here. Xiu going to have to vacate. Teleport does come in from the Cho'Gath, and there's the Glacial Prison. Canyon now trying to get himself out. Beryl comes in and just going to grab the drive-by kill onto the Lilia, and 1 versus 5 is not going to work for Keen.
Beautiful play from DPLUS. The 1v1 from Keen is when he was fighting at grubs, and 2 from minions or monsters. Max of 6 you can get from minions or monsters, and the rest is from epic monsters or champions.
Yeah, much harder to stack up that way, as Duro is going to be discovered here by 2 burly gentlemen, as he does try and taxi his way out, but unfortunately he's going to get eaten, and that is another stack coming through. And he grabs the cannon. This is the most jinxable team of all time, so let's just not make that happen, as Beryl is very far up. He's not afraid of dying, even if he hasn't done it yet, and now that's the caster curse. That's what we were talking about. First death, still going to be traded for Chovy, perhaps, as the bullet time, unfortunately, out of range. As in comes Xiu, and that is going to spell the end, and the public execution actually going to get the flash out from Ruler. Showmaker unable to close the gap, even though he does have all the movement speed in the world. And DK, I think it's a trade up, but it is the first death there for Beryl, and that is that's a shame for DK fans.
I don't know, I feel better about it now. Beryl's died, they get a winning fight off the back of it. I feel like everything is, this is DK, this is Beryl. Now we know for sure. Fight coming out.
Yeah, teleport actually coming on in here from the Quinn as flash out from Showmaker. Still, Canyon comes on forward. The Herald is actually going to be secured by the MF, and it is the Quinn starting to pop off. Xiu looking to dash over Keen, under 100 health, and Beryl's coming in, Beryl, and knocks him down. Ruler can't win this 1v1 either, and aiming comes on over, flashes forward, says Beryl, stop stealing my kills, and Xiu says that he's the second coming of Keen, and he's going to be able to take down Canyon. This guy has been... there, and then it's a Jhin. What are you supposed to do? Oh, how did he win this?
The Eclipse Shield.
Oh, just
it's like the plot of Mickey 17. It's like the first deaths are like you're really apprehensive, and eventually it's like whatever, It kind of feels like that. He's ripped off the Band-Aid.
Yeah, I was going to make the Band-Aid reference. That is what it kind of feels like here, as feats of strength now going to come through for DK. It's going to make this Cho'Gath even faster, which is very scary. It's going to be a Hextech Soul, and I can confirm that Orcs was actually paying attention, but maybe not. Sorry, Chemtech. I always get the different techs.
I was too locked in on Beryl.
Yeah, you were too locked in on Beryl, and that's okay.
I will say, though, as far as Chemtech teams go, there's a lot of people who are tanky on this team who will get value out of that. You know, like
I think like way better themselves.
Yep. Just never try to understand team.
Yeah, I know. That's the thing. The more likely they are to lose, the less likely they are to lose until you realize that that's the case, in which case they'll probably lose.
I didn't track that, but I think that
it makes no sense, but the less sense it makes, the more sense it makes for DK.
They have a great route here, actually. GENG, they could be caught out. They're going for the tower.
Yeah. Looking for it. They will be able to take that one down as they are spread. Beryl trying to find an angle, and immediately he sees Ruler, and he's going to look to kill him, but he now finds himself as the man caught out. Public execution gets Shiu into the backline as Beryl survives for so incredibly long, but is it actually going to work out? Because it's now 4 versus 5, and Shiu's going to make it 3. The sleep going to come on through there, and there is the one after the other. DK being cut down, and there we go. We thought for a second that DK were just going to play clean for the rest of the season. It's going to be a tough one. Showmaker, you can see, checking to make sure he's not going to get flanked. And yeah, this tower, not long for the world. That is going to mean GENG with about a 1,000 gold lead off the back end of that Arakan play. They still have that buff available. They can still play hyper aggressively, moving later and later. And you can see here where it all went wrong, where the commentators started to talk about DK being a good team.
Yeah, I mean,
okay. Keen will find Lucid.
There's the flank.
Now, yeah, that's a big teleport flank angle. Beryl going to come on over and gets the heroic charge. Chovy is immediately recalled as there's a Sejuani that's a bit sleepy, or is it Bristle?
I did start to consider the fact that it was a Corki TPing into that flank position. Shiu has a great angle here, but still need to push through, trying to clear out the vision in this brush.
Yeah, Keen and Canyon will be able to spot him out. He does get control of the banana brush, but Lucid gonna have to put his body forward. Solar Flare gonna be avoided, but no! Actually, Beryl forced to McHale's himself, throws down the ulti though, and down goes Keen! He just oversteps in one moment! Phosphorus Bomb not going to land here as Lucid is still very low, and the Drake is still gonna be picked up there by Canyon. 1 kill. All it costs.
The other end?
And we have Jonas Strong observing, and he is a bowler. As now, Shiu actually looking for a little bit of an exchange onto Keen here, already winning it out beautifully, and Showmaker's on the way. Is this a stack? He flashes for it. Grabs it with some ball pull spikes as DK gonna take down Keen for the 4th time.
We all know how satisfying items, that's why you buy, like Heartsteel, right?
Chovy is a financially focused gamer.
Exactly. Heartsteel, everyone builds it just for, even if it did no damage and you got no health, just the noise is enough.
True. As all right, GENG, they're going to pull the Dragon out. DK not wanting to give this one up without a fight. As you can see, Bowling Ball going slightly wide. Rupture just to try and get them out of the banana brush.
He's so big.
Yeah, Shirelia's popped. As look at this, they go so fast. He's so large. There's the Glacial Prison. In they go. That's going to be the steal. That's also the Nom coming through from Showmaker, who takes down the Leona. Keen going golden. Ruler feels like he's in a safe place, but look at these health bars. They're going so low. Still, the curtain call is enough to make it happen. Aiming going to get flashed on here as Ruler says, nope, you're going down. And Chovy is collecting.
Chovy got left and right. The initial fight went in favor of DPLUS.
Wait, is it game over?
I think it might be.
There's so much damage.
20 seconds. I think it's just done. They have 4 grubs as well.
Yeah, and so they just need to keep these minions alive. Inhibitor does go down as GENG. They were thinking about it for a second there. They're like, wait a minute, we can just win. As Keen tanking up a bunch of turrets, but the turrets just don't exist.
Yeah, the next wave is there. It's only Beryl. He doesn't have ult.
Yeah, and is going to be immune. There is no way Beryl's going to stop this one. As now Lucid, can you be the hero? The answer's no. 1 shot from Ruler. And GENG bring it to 3 games here against DK. That's exactly what we wanted to see here in this one.
It's pretty rare we have a game 1 with a kill deficit. 4 kills down.
Really, he should have been able to. And it really did create a deficit on the map.
I think the thing is, you could definitely have seen a game where this comp from DPLUS is really hard to play into, but GENG early picked up
2v2 that I had on my radar. You know, the Silas ZED combination, as Camille is another choice that you could make. This steers GENG away from team fighting a little bit and allows their 1-3-1 to be devastating.
But it's just so much dive potential in this top side. This feels like the sort of dive top side you see in solo queue.
Yeah.
You just go like 20-0. I do think, you know, ultimately the Cassante can do a pretty good job.
Dive onto the Rift for game number 3. Here we are, ladies and gentlemen, onto the Rift for the final game of this. Yeah, obviously it's going to be right now it is a 5 versus 4, as the piercing arrow is going to get a bit of extra damage here from aiming.
Gotta get that mana.
Beryl just pretending to be everyone here, as he shape splits and tries to tell Keen to back off. Kill him, yeah, because the amount of CC that he has in response is pretty high.
Yep, absolutely. See the value though, having that Pop Blossom to add into your combo as the Sile is pretty big, but with a 1-stack Rod of Ages turret, but that even more puts emphasis on the fact that Gen G could TP in their mid lane to contest this. Looks like the priority is the Dragon though instead. Yep,
and that does make some sense. Shiu down here as well. It does mean that if they do then transition over towards the Dragon,
aiming no longer having ult for this fight. They are looking for this Dragon. It's getting low. Lucid's trying to find a look in.
Yeah, Lucid is in a bit of danger here, is what it kind of feels like to me. Of course, can go untargetable and keep himself safe as he doesn't get the smite. Shiu now dives in on top of all of them as he tries to get out. There's the Pop Blossom onto 3 somehow from Beryl with the first kill. Gonna go down already. Keen gonna get bailed out pretty quickly, and there it goes. Down goes the Vex, and aiming in a whole host of trouble. Chovy looking for his first one as Canyon getting on in there. Beryl going to be his target as Lucid jumping on top of Ruler, but Ruler gets over the wall with a gorgeous flash. The handshake says top of the morning to you, and down goes the hot dog. And it's just that bottom lane left alive, but are they going to be alive for much longer? As Chovy out of turret range, and that is going to keep him alive here as Gen G, they grab themselves the feats of warfare, even though they didn't need them in an instant.
Huge fight win for Gen G. They stop the Dragon stacking and get kills exactly where they want them. You know,
his ultimate blue buff, I believe, was secured, and it was by DK. He's now Keen looking for an angle.
Aiming no flash.
Yeah. Hextech ultimatum comes down. Pop Blossom in answer though, and it lands onto 3, but over the wall goes Chovy and helps pick up the bottom lane. The Vex now coming in and finding some value. They get 2, and Duro goes down as well. It's a 1-team fight already, but can DK get more? As we're getting the resets, and Showmaker gets on top of Ruler. No cleanse is going to cleanse him out of that one as the Nefiri Bleed takes down the Callista, and DK ain't done yet.
Huge overstep there from Gen G. Look at the dive aiming under the tower. And the thing is, against the Vex, the difference between getting that initial kill and not getting it in the previous fight, the momentum they found, and now they get a chance to throw down that Herald mid. And just when things looked like they were slipping away from DPLUS, they bite back.
That's going to be the question. It's not like, is he going to die? Because yes, he is. It's about how long it's going to take and how much value he can get beforehand.
Yeah.
As Shiu playing a little bit aggressively here. You can see now 2-1 and 2 on the Cassante as a result of that last skirmish. And has about a 700 gold lead. Is now Chovy caught in a side lane as Lucid going untargetable. It is going to be a bit of value here, but unfortunately, that ultimate not going to do anything to save his life. And now the mid laner is dead.
I admire the skin. That's what we got out of that replay.
Yep. Oh, it's beautiful. It is absolutely beautiful. And he's looking for an angle, but he won't find one. So this Dragon is going to be soul point for DK. It's a Katarina dagger. But it feels a little bit more relevant for Draven. As Canyon moving down towards his bottom side as Shiu. There is a Hextech ultimatum problem that he has. Deathmark going to come on through, and they will not put their backs against the wall, so he had no way out. And down goes the top laner. On the other side of the map, no opportunity for a cross.
If it gets low enough, then you do TP in, but it's Camille. You can TP a bit late and instantly have impact. Don't want to get forced early.
Well, Ruler coming on over. Shape Splitter will be up.
They've committed the TP. I think DPLUS just back off. It's still 12,000 HP.
Just get out of there, Shiu. Just standing in the front line, making sure that he can play gatekeeper to the rest of Gen G. They want to make sure that it does actually reset as Keen. Looking for that flank angle, looking for that opportunity. The rest of DK staying stalwart, seeing what they can do. As Gen G a little bit split is what it feels like, but if they time it correctly, it can be devastating here for DK. Duro still down very, very low, and there's no Fate's Call. Remember, Pop Blossom finds 3. The other con is taken by Gen G, though they have the extra life. As now Showmaker taking so much damage. Into the backline goes Keen. It's a DK disaster, and Gen G just roll over the top.
Decimation, it's so hard to contest the Adakan against the Callista.
Upgraded, and I don't know whether the DK Dragon Soul Dream is going to be alive for very much longer as they do take down the second Cloud Drake for Gen G. As Lucid just wanted to get something out of his own jungle. Handshake not going to stun him up there as his own dog's being used against him.
The thing is, with like a Nefiri, a Vex, and I mean, all the composition of DPLUS, they got a lot of burst. when you're behind like this, it's going to take everything in the kitchen sink to kill some of these bulkier targets.
Yep.
And the thing is, even if you kill someone now, they're just recalled. So, oh, Chains of Corruption misses.
Yeah, and also Keen has a Guardian Angel as well, so you not only have to kill him once, you have to kill him again. As GENG splitting, they have got Canyon in the mid lane as Lucid looking for the angle there. Canyon might just be dead, and yeah, he's not going to be getting out of this one. So the recall or the withdraw going to be procced. The rest of GENG now focusing on taking down this inhibitor turret on the bottom side as Keen looks to dive in. Pop Blossom used defensively here against Chovy as his Chains of Corruption are going to miss. And still the inhibitor goes down. Still Chovy is fighting. Still he realizes that he's just got a withdrawal. So he's going to be able to proc that as Shiu going down so incredibly low. And there is that true damage from Keen to execute the Cassante. GENG, boy, then maybe that is a chance to just kill all of them.
Coach Kim will have some notes on that one.
Yeah, we'll just have to see. As now, DK wanting to get this defense working as Ruler's going to get Pop Blossomed. Ruler diving on top of him or attempting to as Chovy is the problem. He's got a Pop Blossom of his own and they take down aiming. Canyon, absolutely absurd damage as well, and he just gets himself out. The death mark was just so good. And wow, Cassante was there. Okay, Shiu very, very far north, but he is also going to be eviscerated. 5-0 and 6 for the ZED jungle of Canyon. And they're going to be able to take another inhibitor. This might just be the end of the game right now, and GENG looking to stay undefeated here in the LCK. And DK staying defeated against GENG despite everything they were able to get done in this series. Showmaker goes down yet again. Canyon on about 0 health, but he doesn't really need too much. And Duro diving on into the Nexus will fall. And the fate of DK is to continue to be just this close to beating GENG.
Oh, I mean, it started off so well. Game 1, I feel like you really saw that momentum from DPLUS. You saw crisp gameplay. Game 2, messy. And I think Game 3, there was moments you saw what the comp was looking to go for, but the execution was hard, and DPLUS just had so many threats they really couldn't deal with. I think aiming got put in a really rough spot in this game, and there just wasn't an answer to bail
together. It becomes extremely difficult to do anything about it.
Yeah, and if there was any doubt before, there definitely isn't now. The GENG are very much our strongest team right now. They're first in standings as a result of this, but also HLE beaten, T1 beaten. They also beat Nongshim, and they've now beaten DPLUS, which are 4 of the other teams who are in the top 6 of them in the LCK Cup. And I would